I'd like to call to order the March 28th, 2023 meeting of the Board for Licensing Contractors. We will do a roll call starting with my left of the members present. Keith Whittington, Johnson City, Tennessee.
Mark Brudd, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Andy Allen, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Ransom, Memphis, Tennessee.
First thing up on the order of the meeting business is adoption of Robert's Rules of Orders. Can I get a motion to adopt Robert's Rules of Orders as the process to complete our meetings?
I'll move to adopt Robert's Rules of Order.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed likewise. The motion carries. There should be conflict of interest statements for the board members to sign. We'll make sure we get those signed before we leave here today, okay? If not, email them to us. We'll get them back to you. The next item on the agenda is election of officers for the 23 and 24 years of the board. The nominating committee met shortly here this morning, and we have selected to present Mark Brudd as chairman, Andy Allen as vice chairman, and Jennifer Ransom as secretary treasurer. If there are any other nominations to the floor, I would be willing to entertain those. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve the nominating committee's slate of officers for 23 and 4.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, new officers. And with that, I would like to say it's your meeting, Mr. Chairman. And as well, I would also, while I'm here, would like to say thank you for your work in working for our new director position in the interview process you went through on that. So good luck to you.
Keith, thank you for your years as president and guiding us through the last 2 years. All right, on the agenda, approval of meeting minutes from November 29th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next are the license reviews and approvals by the board. We'll start with hardships. Hardships that us or approval. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Next are contractor initial apps, the waived interviews. I'll accept the motion for those.
Motion?
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes. Contractor revisions, add classes, mode, and name changes. Accept the motion for approval of those.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next are the LLEs. Accept.
Make a motion to all but the one Tyler Russell, and he needs to take the exam. Motion to approve all but the one Tyler Russell, and he just needs to take the exam.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you get a second on that?
Jennifer? How do LLPs? Anybody review those?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? And then home improvements.
Make a motion, we approve the home.
Second.
Right, all in favor of home improvements?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next are applications with factors and the interviews. Ronnie, did you have any of those? Keith?
I think,
Yes, I have 2 applications to add with factors. The first one I have is Best Plumbing Inc. for working out of classification. $2,000 civil penalty recommended, reviewed by Keith. And I also have a Chris Martin Construction LLC for working on an expired license. Recommended fine $1,000, reviewed by Reese Smith.
You want to go through all of these and then we'll approve them as one? Is that all you had, Keith?
yes, I think that's all we have here.
Up to motion approval of those?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. License use approvals by the board for the residential continuing education applicants. All for Contractors was the first one. And Contractor Training Center is also requesting approval.
Mr. Chairman, I read through both of them and I move to approve both applicants.
Second.
This is department, anything?
What was the question? Yes, they are approved residential providers from multiple states in the construction industry, looking to extend their services for the state of Tennessee.
Other questions? All right.
Got a motion and a second.
Let's vote on it then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Legal report. Let's start with Stuart.
Good morning. Changes to the legal report are as follows. With respect to the January 2023 legal report, number 51 on the January 2023 legal report, case number 2022041661 needs to be removed from the January legal report. Number 52 on the January 2023 legal report, case number 2022042891 needs to be removed from the January legal report. And number 80 on the January 2023 legal report, case number 2022047311. I wanted to bring this to the board's attention that this case is represented on the March 2023 legal report as number 63 on the March 2023 legal report. Legal finally got in touch with the complainant on January 30th. The complainant never signed a contract pursuant to an oral agreement. The respondent was supposed to add on a 1,500 square foot addition, which included 2 bathrooms to complainant's house. The complainant alleges paying respondent $156,000 for the work, which was not completed. The investigator obtained a sworn statement from the respondent, and in the sworn statement, the respondent states that it never represented itself as a licensed contractor, but it sent respondent pictures of the work. The complainant sent respondent pictures of the work complainant wanted done on the subject property, and the respondent told the complainant that respondent could do the work for a total of $153,580. So the new recommendation based on that is to authorize formal charges and settlement through a consent order and the assessment of a $2,000 civil penalty for violation of TCA 62-6-103 unlicensed contracting. Changes with respect to the March 2023 legal report. Number 32 on the March 2023 legal report. That's case number 202205241. The change is to raise the civil penalty from the recommendation of $1,000 to $2,500. And that is the legal report.
Make a motion to accept the legal report. Favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is that everything, Stuart?
Yes, sir. That's all everything on the legal report.
Update?
I do have one update that will affect the board possibly in the future. If y'all remember back in September, we kind of notified y'all that there's some movement to increase the contract monetary limit from $25,000, and that's for contractors, electricians, and plumbers, from $25,000 to $50,000. That bill is moving through the committees. It keeps the home improvement at $3,000 in those 9 counties. So there's going to be that $3,000 to $50,000 gap if it passes. And then also the bond for home improvement will increase from $10,000 to the latest amendment is $50,000. So that's, like I said, that's moving through the committees, and that's really all the updates I have. There's some other bills out there, but it doesn't really affect this board. It should, yes.
Chairman, if I could chime in on that, I think that bill just moved through Senate Commerce. That committee has closed. They've concluded their business, and I believe it's actually up in House Finance this morning. Yes, sir. And just to clarify as well, we've been providing information with to both of the sponsors just to weigh in and answer any questions that they have.
We're taking a position.
The governor's office positions bills, and so we've been deferred on that, but have just been working in a capacity to provide information and answer questions. Yes, sir. But I know the industry has been involved in some of those conversations as well.
That's the only update I have.
Do you have any questions about that? All right, next, I'll turn it over to Alex Martin for the executive director process.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate that. I want to talk a little bit about our process and how we reached recommendation for a finalist, Michael Morelli, sitting to my right. But before I do that, first I just want to acknowledge that we've been operating without an executive director for the past 3 months. Appreciate Carolyn and all of her years of service. But these last 3 months, I just want to say that the staff has really stepped up. They've done tremendous work and have pulled more than their fair share. They've been very, very patient with me. I know enough to be dangerous in a lot of cases, but they've continued to lean in and serve our customers effectively. So certainly want to acknowledge that and just speak to their good work. I also want to thank legal. Session can be a chaotic time, a lot of bills and a lot of analysis to do, and so they've continued to support us as well, and we really appreciate that. So just to kind of speak to the process that has been followed in general. So we did post this job as an executive service spot, obviously appointed by the board, worked with Mark to formulate that job posting, blasted it out far and wide. We wanted to be sure that we had a lot of eyeballs on that and that we were gathering as many qualified applicants as possible, so that we were able to present the best possible candidate for the board's consideration. So after that job was posted for around 3 weeks, we had a total of 65 applicants. We did an initial screening with HR participating in that panel, and actually conducted 3 series of interviews. And just briefly, those interviews, the first round consisted of about 15 individuals just based on their qualifications and experience. We did a second round of interviews that were lengthier and more of a deep dive with some of the candidates from those initial interviews that we wanted to call back, changing the questions and really diving deep into their experience, their leadership background, any industry experience that they might have, just really, again, with the goal of presenting the best possible candidate. And then in the final phase, we wanted to present 3 finalists for Mark's consideration. We did have 1 pull out, but ultimately had 2 great finalists that we were able to present. And also want to thank Mark. Appreciate the role that he played in the process, and to Chairman Whittington for appointing him. And that feedback and input was very key and crucial to the process. So that's just a little bit about what we've done here. Wanted everybody to know what the process has been and sort of how we've tracked on that. So Mark, I'll turn it over to you for your comments.
Well, I appreciate everything you did on it, Alex. I know you worked hard on it and spent a lot of hours talking to those people and getting it down to the final 2 that I was able to interview. Process, from what I can tell, was much above board. Got a good candidate that we're hopefully about ready to approve. So thank you, Alex. At this time, I guess I'd like to make a motion that we accept the candidate Michael Morelli as our new executive director.
I'll second that motion.
Question or questions about that, or shall we?
Yeah, I was going to say, Chairman, if I might introduce Michael, I think he has some comments that he'd like to share with the board. Michael, you may have to get close here to get to the mic there.
I'll get real close to you. Mr. Chairman, thank you again for the opportunity to be here, and thank you to all the board members as well. As Assistant Commissioner Martin said, my name is Michael Morelli. I'm a local from here in Nashville, Tennessee. Went to University of Tennessee in Knoxville. And in a way, I've been working with y'all indirectly for about 5 years now. I've been the director of the Electrical, Residential, and Marina section for the State Fire Marshal's Office. One of the big feathers in my hat during that time there was I was able to take the permitting process from paper-based to an online digital format. I know we've still got some growing pains to work through with that program, but it has really brought us into the 21st century and hopefully provided some more ease of access for the contractors out there to purchase their permits. Very much looking forward to the possibility of this role. Looking forward to bringing some stability to the board, as well as an outside perspective to see what we can do to make things a little bit more efficient as well. With that being said, I won't take up much more of y'all's time, but I truly appreciate the opportunity to be here. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those. And thank you again.
Questions? Call the question. All in favor of Michael Morelli as our new executive director, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Welcome, Michael.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just a few more comments here. So, obviously, you all have Michael's resume before you. You know that he is coming to us from our sister division, Fire, the State Fire Marshal's Office. I do just think it's very important, and to state on the record, although Michael is obviously an internal candidate and comes to us from the department, all applicants were given a serious consideration. And we asked Michael some very hard questions and cut him absolutely no slack. And again, we're critically and just laser focused on ensuring that we got the best candidate possible. And Michael has done that on his own. So I appreciate him, and we're confident in his background and in his leadership ability.
Final details of his offer, Alex is working on. I'm going to go ahead and final the
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we're working with HR on that. I think given the board's authority, an official motion to allow me to do that might be in order if you also choose. Yes, sir. So just wonder, it sounds like the motion is to give us the ability to set that final salary within the posted range and to work out a final start date. So we'll get those final signatures contingent on the chairman's approval, and we'll make sure that we follow up and share with the board that final hiring recommendation. Is that?
I
Yes,
second the motion.
Yes, sir. Perfect. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Alex? We good?
Not on that item.
Okay, great. Board updates, is that have Alex?
Yes, sir. So I've been standing in the gap for 3 months here. Again, very reliant on the staff and legal, but have tried to communicate with the board and ensure that things weren't slipping. So just wanted to provide a few updates on the back office side, so that the board had that awareness. So I believe first off, we had sent out our net position statement for I believe this is for January to the board for review, and so just wanted to kind of follow up on that. I think in our last meeting, Chairman Whittington had raised a question about a large expense that was reflected in September of 2022. That was on the fly, and I wasn't prepared to answer that question. I did follow up with Keith and after the meeting when I had more information, but I just wanted to share with the board on the record. That was the dispersal to go build for fiscal year 2022 that the board had previously approved. And just as a reminder, the board, I think, had approved that, and it went through the governor's budgetary process and was approved by the legislature. So that's just reflective of when that check was actually cut, and I wanted to be sure that the board was updated on that item. Happy to answer any questions on that. Just a couple more pieces here, and if y'all have got questions, feel free to stop me. Want the board to be aware, we did appear and present at the beginning of session in January for the self-sufficiency hearing for the LLE LLP program. This board is somewhat unique in the sense that for whatever reason, F&A has continued to account for contractors licenses and then the LLE and LLP programs separately. And so just so y'all have awareness, typically a board is accounted for, all of its licenses are recognized in the same pot of money. And so LLE and LLP, I think for historical reasons, has been looked at separately. We presented The prior year, we had some software upgrades that were dispersed across the entire division. We explained that to the committee, and then this was what would typically have been the off year for LLE, LLP. As y'all know, it's a 2-year renewal cycle with the majority of that revenue falling in even odd years, every other year pattern, if you will. So just wanted to ensure the board was aware of that item as well. And then additionally, kind of going back to Go Build, we do intend to invite them to a future meeting to give an update in their own words. But I do want to make the board aware they've certainly had some changes in leadership and in membership. So Go Build has moved away from having a full-time executive director. Their previous executive director has left for the private sector, and they've also had a change in the board chairman position. And since then, they've actually hired 2 PR firms to sort of get them back on track to their original mission of being a promotional-focused organization. And just a couple points on that. You may have all seen that they had a recent op-ed in the Tennessean, and then they had another op-ed, I think that was picked up in the Federalist, with both of those articles sort of highlighting the demand in the trades and the ability for folks to get a job, not incur a lot of college debt. And I think all of those things are in line with pieces that the governor has certainly pointed out during his time in office. So those are the updates that I have, and happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So statutorily, Go Build is remitted 50% of the fiscal year end balance that the board ends with. So just for simple math, if the board ended a fiscal year with only the reserve for that year, not the total reserve, that's a larger pool of money. Let's say it's $100,000. Go Build would be remitted 50% of that. No, sir. So that statutory piece is there and is automatic. That 250, that was a proposal that was voted on, and then that went specifically through the budgetary process. So it was there's for now there has been a sort of 2 separate funding mechanisms, and we had planned to do that as sort of a 3-year allocation to get them back on track. I think they came and spoke. That was at a meeting last year, and so that was that additional. The board did vote on that, but it also went through the regular budgetary amendment process to have that authority. Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Alex? All right, Janine, I see you're on the agenda here. Do you have a report this morning?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. There will be a couple of administrative changes for the board. Our LLE processor, Sabrina Williams, has accepted a promotional opportunity, and she will be no longer with us as of the 14th of this month. Her position will post this Thursday to fill that position. And with that being said, we are going to redistribute some of the processing, and Kara Evans, who is currently processing revision applications, will start processing initial applications as well with Kathy to help keep up with the workflow that we're getting for initial applications to better service our customers. And our new hire for that we'll be posting on Thursday will be processing revisions and the LLE applications. In the meantime, LLE applications will also be processed by Catherine Holloman. Those are the only administrative updates I currently have.
That'll be a full staff at that point then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The budget, Go Build, and self-sufficiency report. Okay. Already done that.
Yes, sir. But happy to provide other updates or questions if y'all have.
Good. New business. I have one, unfortunately. November reviewed a company called Stockdale Building Group for their license application. They had bid a project, $5 million mechanical job, started work without a license. So we called them in, or they filled out an application. We called them in for an interview at the November meeting. Self and Andy met with them. We agreed to a fine for them, but they were unable to provide a audited statement at that time because they needed an unlimited license. So we gave them 3 months to get an audited statement. The 3 months are up and we don't have an audited statement at this point.
Mr. Chairman, if I can chime in real quick, just a correction that the name of that company is Caldwell Plumbing.
I think you're right. Correct.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure for on the record that that was corrected. It was for Caldwell Plumbing.
Correct.
Thank you.
So I'm going to meet with Randy today and figure out what we're going to do with this company since they're still continuing to work. And Randy is not here at this meeting. Large project in Nashville that they're doing. They're from Chicago. They're working for a GC that's from Chicago. Give them more time to get an audited statement, or we take some action.
So we've been in contact.
Kathy,
Yes, we have been in contact with them, but they have not responded to our request. We have not heard from them. Yes.
unlimited.
Unlimited general contractor's license.
It can take a while to get an audited statement, but they need to be communicating with us.
Can we send them a letter of warning? And in that letter of warning state that their lack of communication puts their license in jeopardy of hold process through the state?
Well, we don't have an open complaint against them, so we can't really send disciplinary action or informal or formal. What we can do is get in contact with them. I know, like this time of year, trying to get an audited statement and with taxes and everything, it's tax season.
Not very likely.
Right, but I don't know much about that case right now. But what I would suggest is maybe giving them 2 or 3 more months and then letting us get in contact with them to see what's going on with that, and then at least bring it back at the next meeting in May.
I'd copy on all of that.
Yeah, I would reach out to the general contractor. I mean, it's their responsibility to hire licensed contractors. So if you could reach out to the general contractor, let them know the situation and tell them to go.
We issued them a license contingent upon them providing the audited financial statement. Oh, for the
But it was
plumbing
contingent.
contractor.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say reach out to the GC and let them help us.
You know what project or what? That was my other question. Why do I have this Stockdale Building Group? I can do that after the meeting, I guess. Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think what I'm hearing from legal at the very and from the board is at the very least we need to work on opening an administrative complaint, get this sent out for investigation, and then incorporate some of the feedback that y'all provided, reaching out to the GC as well and making them aware that we need that audited financial statement.
Right, and I would defer this to the next meeting.
Definitely.
It's a big job, so I don't think it'll be done in 60 days. Plumbing work.
We'll get on that. We'll start looking into it, and then have an update at the next meeting or sooner.
Anybody else got anything? All right, we're adjourned. I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Say
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.